Hey everybody, my name is Josh Madakor. I'm a CourseCareers IT course instructor, and I'm here with Evan, who went through the IT course and he ended up getting a job. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
No problem, man. Of course, I have to.
So, before we get started, do you mind doing like a brief introduction for yourself and like what you're doing before you decided to get into IT?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Evan, also known as Mr. Tall and Bald. Before I was in IT, I was a Uber driver. I actually completed over 25,000 trips in New York City. So
Damn.
let's say I know every single street, every single neighborhood in New York. And 12 months ago, I was just sick and tired of struggling because I bought my own vehicle, a wheelchair vehicle, and it kept breaking down. If you know anything about cars, I've replaced every single part in my car. I was on my third engine and my second transmission, and there was a 1 month where my car was on the back of a tow truck 6 times. So let's just say I needed a hard pivot, and I started looking into cybersecurity. And then, long story short, I got into the tech, cybersecurity, YouTube ecosystem, started binge watching a lot of Josh's video, Unix guy video, and Josh was like a really pivotal role in my development. And I'm sure we're gonna get into that, but that's where I'm at. That's who I am.
Well, thanks for that intro, and that's a lot of that's like a legendary amount of trips, and in New York, nonetheless. That's like really something.
Yeah, every possible situation that you've seen an Uber driver go through, I've been through it.
Do you have? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that reminds me. I was gonna be like, you should make a YouTube, but you have a YouTube, right?
Yeah, I have a YouTube. And
What is?
it's my full name, but I kind of like the Mr. Tall and Bald alias.
Is your YouTube like a tech related, or is it about your like taxi or Uber adventures?
Yeah, right now is mostly tech related because I just like to, document my journey. Like I just go on different journeys in my life. Like I documented my beard journey. I used to have no beard and I grew a beard in 12 weeks. So that video did pretty well. It's like 150,000 views. So now I'm just documenting my journey through tech.
Oh, that's very cool. And for anyone watching, I really recommend doing that when you start getting into like if you're thinking to get into IT and you follow Evan's path, I might recommend like making content about it along the way because it can come in handy like later if you want to do something with content. But
Yeah, facts.
so like can I ask like what made you decide to sign up for the Course Careers IT course? Like what kind of research did you do to, figure out if it's legit or not?
Yeah, I had a love-hate relationship with your content at first because I was just getting introduced to everybody and you don't know who to trust. And
Mm.
I'm like listening to a book. Actually, your content first told me to go listen to a lot of Darknet Diaries podcasts. I did that. That was the best decision ever because it
Nice.
really gave me the verbiage and nomenclature of cybersecurity. And then I started watching your content. Then I started watching Cyberwalks, and then Unix Guy. And then I wasn't sure who was like the most legit, because I didn't really have any context of corporate world. And then I started binge watching your content again, and I saw your course, and I was like, you know what? This seems so great. And one of the things that I'm always talking about in my YouTube is the internship program. And that's what got my attention. And then also that people were getting jobs, like people were actually getting jobs. So I'm like, you know what? Like I started to like really fall in love with your content again because it was just like hits, and then I just went for it. I signed up for it probably like 8 months into my cybersecurity journey. And that was a pivotal point right there because it was just so much more value than I ever could have possibly thought. And I can talk about that, like in terms of helping you get a job, in terms of putting your resume together and getting confidence to apply to different jobs. If I were to do things differently, I think I would have attacked your course first, viciously, and then did like Coursera on the side.
Did you do the cyber course or the IT course or both of them?
Yeah, that's a great question because I did the IT course. and I plan on doing the cyber course. I think it's a no-brainer.
Okay, gotcha. I appreciate that. Thank you. Do you remember like about how long it took you to go through the whole course, like from the time you got it to the time you like considered yourself finished and started applying for jobs?
Yeah, it took me about a month, and I know everybody says that, but let me just get some context. I really put the pedal to the metal and I really focused on doing the course, and I did it part-time outside of me driving Uber. I'd wake up in the morning, 4 in the morning, go drive for a couple hours, then stop at a coffee shop for like 3 hours, go through your modules, go through the labs, and then whenever I was stuck, I'd hit up the people on Discord, and I would just do it part-time, spare time, and I was able to get through it within a month. I was very excited about it, and then shit kind of got bad. But we could talk about that like after I finished it. But it took me about a month to complete it.
Okay. And I really like to see that. It sounds like you were really consistent. Even you're doing it part time. It sounds like you were doing it like really regularly. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes there were times I'd fall off, because you get into that like slump. But
Mm.
I always try to tell people you got to be consistent. Um, you got to keep doing it. You got to like show up. And that's like it was very engaging course. I did like a whole review. I did like a 40-minute review on the
Oh
course
wow.
actually.
Oh nice. I'll
Yeah,
I'll like
I went through like 7 parameters on like everything you did, like your coaching style, your labs, the value to money.
maybe I do like a reaction video to those, and then I can like point people to your channel. I
Yeah. It would be great because I was trying to be very thorough and I was trying to be honest.
appreciate that. I want to ask about. You said it kind of went bad at some point. Do you want to talk about that now?
Yeah, yeah, we could talk about that. So, like, I finished the course and I was super excited because I'm seeing other people get jobs right away, like within 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And that just wasn't the case for me. I didn't get a job right away. Um, I really got beat up by the market. Like, I applied to like over 600 jobs and I got ghosted plenty of times. And from me finishing the course to me landing the job that I have now, which I love, it was like 4 months, 5 months, and
Okay.
maybe that's still great, but when you're going through it, you don't know if it's gonna take you forever. And I started to get to the point where I was going back to the drawing board and feeling like maybe like my resume isn't good enough, but it turned out it worked out.
Gotcha. Were you getting like interviews, or how? Do you remember how many interviews you did during that time?
Yeah, during that time I did like three, four,
Okay.
yeah, out
Okay.
of the 600 applications, like three, and one of them was because of referral.
Okay. And then, can you talk about like the job you ended up getting, or like I guess how's for the job you got? Like, how was that interview process, and like, do you enjoy the job? Like, what kind of stuff do you do?
Yeah, so toward the tail end of me applying, I was really feeling like, dang, like my resume is not good enough. I need to start studying for the Microsoft 365 certificate, and that's what I was
Hmm.
doing. And then this company called me. I think it's okay that I say their name because, like, my boss literally told me it's okay because you've already mentioned it on your LinkedIn. But it's a company
Okay.
called Yext, and they're a software company in New York City. They gave me a call and I looked at the job description. I had totally even forgot what it was because I had applied to so many. And they gave me a shot. We can kind of go deeper into the interview process, but I went through 3 rounds and I had an
Oh, nice.
assessment. The assessment was for Excel, which isn't what you talked about on the course, but I just picked up like a $10 Udemy course, like become master in Excel in like 6 hours. And I
Oh,
studied
nice.
that over the week before the assessment. And along with the projects that I did and just my me showing them that I can learn, that really impressed them.
I think that's really good, and good for you for being resourceful. That's like exactly something I would do. Like for people watching, like if you get an interview and it's coming up and there's like something on there that you don't know about, it's a really really good idea to like go find some good resources and practice it. Exactly like you did. It sounds like it paid off well, right?
Yeah. I try to tell people you gotta bring like a tenacious attitude and like kind of be ferocious and learn from the failures because the interviews that I didn't get anything, I learned like, okay, the reason why they didn't call me back is because I don't even know what Jamf is. They asked me, hey, do you know how to use Jamf, which is the mobile device management program for Apple devices. I didn't even know
Okay.
what that was. And
I
then
don't
they
know
were
what that
at,
is. So
yeah, yeah. So if you're somebody who deploys mobile devices for employees, you need to use Jamf to work with MacBooks. And if you're gonna use Windows, you need like Microsoft Intune, which I think is like more up your alley, right? So yeah, those failures made me realize, okay, this is maybe what I need to brush up on. This is what I need to study. Um, but I think the course really helped me get the confidence to apply in a certain way. Um, like reaching out directly to people who are responsible for hiring you. That's like a secret tip right there. Um,
uh,
yeah, but it's cool, man. I'm happy that it kind of panned out.
I'm glad to hear that. And can you talk about what was your strategy for like trying to find people? Like when you're applying to jobs, do you just go to LinkedIn and just search for like the job, or like how do you find people who are associated?
Yeah. Um, so in your course, for people who don't know, he's partnered with CourseCareers on that course, and there's a specific segment that talks about how to find people. I think that's like just it just makes the course like even more valuable because um you go on LinkedIn, you download this extension, it's called Apollo.io, and they go into details on like scripts that you can use to reach out to the directors. But basically, I'd find like a company that I feel maybe I'd have a competitive edge in, and because I have 25,000 trips that I completed, I'm pretty good with talking to customers, you can say, right? So I would look for a company, make a list of like where I feel like I have a competitive edge. Like let's say it's a list of 20, and then out of those 20, I try to get the contact information of the director, the manager, or whoever is responsible for hiring, and then send them a message. Most of them would not reply, but some of them would, and some of them would take a look at my resume. At the end of the day, it's still a numbers game. For my company, Yext, I actually didn't even do that. They just followed up with me at like a month after I applied. They just have a recruiting team that's very thorough. But I'd say you can't give up. Like if you're gonna study, you gotta study every day, and if you're gonna apply, you gotta apply every day.
Gotcha. And then you said you did about like 600 total applications or so.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Part of
Yeah.
it was also being lazy. I'll be honest. Like sometimes you just, I'm not saying I messaged every single director of every company. Sometimes I just went to LinkedIn and I hit easy apply. Like, that's just the truth.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then can you talk about like your final interview, like at the company where you ended up getting hired? You said there was like three different rounds of interviews. Was there like a technical one and a behavior one, or like how did that go?
Yeah, that's a great question because, Josh, you talk a lot about like getting experience with interviews, and that is so true, bro. Because if you're not used to what to do, you're not going to be prepared to like show up. Like it's a skill, like your employability framework.
Hmm.
So the three rounds, right? The first round was like with the recruiter. They were kind of just going through the points on my resume. One of the points was the major point was your internship program. And at the time, I was there for like 4 or 5 months. They were asking me about like some of the projects that I did on your IT course. Then they were asking me a little bit about my Uber experience. And it's interesting because that resume only had two ex pieces of experience on it, and I have other experience that I didn't put on that one.
Hmm.
And then I think they felt like, okay, it sounds like he's a guy he can learn, he's coachable. And then I also did research on the company, which is always a good thing. You should do research on the company and understand what they do, how do they serve their clients. and what context does what you do help the business. And my role is a client-facing role. I work directly with our enterprise level clients, and because Yext is a software company, essentially I'm helping our clients with any technical issues that they have with our software. So I have to be a specialist in the Yext platform to be able to assist our enterprise clients. So I demonstrated that I understood what the point of the role was, and it brought me to the next round, which was a behavioral interview. And I also asked the guy, "Hey, what should I expect for my next round?" And he said it was a behavioral interview. I didn't even know what that was. So I just looked it up on YouTube and I saw a video that said create a list of stories that demonstrate who you are in different situations you've been in. So I did that, and that was really hard. Like it took me a while to think, but you should do that because if you have a bunch of stories off the top of your head that you can tell, like here's when I messed up in my job. Like I accidentally left a binder full of all of the customers' credit cards in a hotel in South Carolina when I was on vacation. That was a story that I told, and I forgot that even happened, but because I took the time to write it. Let me know if I'm talking too much. Like sometimes I get excited. It's
No,
good?
it's yeah, it's good. What you're saying is
Okay.
completely accurate because when you get to the interview and they start being like, "Tell me about a time when blah blah," it's like really hard to think if you didn't like practice or think beforehand. So I'm glad you're like
Yeah.
talking about this.
Yeah. You had to do that pre-prep work. Like, if you have to think about it during the interview, you lost. Take the time beforehand and write out like six stories for each question they might ask you. Because they're gonna ask you like, tell me one thing that most people misunderstand about you. Tell me one time you made a mistake and what did you do to correct it? Like, tell me about a time you communicated with another team. How did you communicate? How did you resolve the issue? So if you gotta sit there and be like thinking for 5 minutes, like no, you gotta kind of roll off. So that was the second interview, the behavioral interview, and they thought I was okay, so they sent me this Excel assessment, which I was already prepped for because I asked the recruiter what should I expect, and I just applied everything I learned. Like I literally hated Excel before that, but I just that's what I needed to learn. I went and learned it. And I think that really impressed them. And then I got the final round was actually like two back to back. It was like their top technical specialist guy. He wanted to test me on their platform. Like, let me throw little challenges at him and see what he does. And the trick there is that like you're gonna get flustered, but I just leaned on the resources that they gave me. And they made it very obvious we want you to like here are the resources if you get stuck. And every time I got stuck, I just went to the resources. Just like your IT course, like I was going through your labs and I'm like, man, I got this. But then I got stuck. And I just leaned on the resources that you kept telling us in the course. Like go to the Discord channel, go look at auxiliary videos to like brush up on this. And you got to do that. Like, you can't think you know everything. You got to lean on your team. And then at
Yeah.
the end, it was a final interview with the manager, and it was another behavioral interview. And at that point, he already heard so much from everybody that he already had like a great impression of me, and it was just like, like you just take it all the way home.
That's good, and that's good to hear for people watching. Like behavioral and soft skills, like really important. And you did like a lot of like technical study and like preparation, but I feel like behavior like helps a lot. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I really think so because even in my job, yes, you need to be technically savvy, but because I'm client facing, I have to be able to communicate properly and articulate points in a certain way. And also, I'm working with my team on certain issues that might need to be escalated in a certain way. So if I'm not communicating with them properly, or they don't feel like they can work with me, like they would have never hired me even if had like a 200 IQ.
Yeah, that's true. And then yeah, I feel the same way as somebody who hires people. Like if you hire someone who's like toxic, even if they're really smart, it's going to be like counterproductive to your business. So it's really important. But I was going to ask like that software platform that you use at work, is it was that your first time like working with that? I forget what it was called.
Yeah, so I never used the software platform that they offer. All right, so just to give a synopsis, Yext is a software company that helps businesses with their SEO,
Okay.
specifically enterprise level businesses like Target, the UPS, State Farm, and their software helps them manage all of their thousands of listings. So I had to learn that software. And it's
Gotcha.
not like like Microsoft Intune where you can just kind of buy it and download it. Like you have to buy it directly from Yext.
Gotcha. So for people watching, they hired you like you've never used that software, but they hired you anyway. Like I'm assuming because they saw some stuff that you did already, and you seem like you at least have some kind of passion and drive to be able to like learn that on your own, and you're personable. So I'm assuming they're like, oh, he was able to do this, and he's a nice and personable guy. He can probably like deal with our software and customers well. Is that kind of how you
That is
see that?
exactly why they hired me, bro.
That's cool. So the imposter syndrome people, like you don't have to know everything. In fact, it's like literally impossible. You just have to know some stuff and then show that you can learn, right? And then be nice.
Yeah. In fact, they told me that my onboarding training was from basically I'm not gonna get finished training until May.
Okay. Oh,
And,
nice.
and for everybody watching right now it's February, and I started in exactly a month ago.
Oh, wow. It's like a
So this week has been the first week I've actually been taking tickets, and this is like my fourth week.
oh, nice.
So most of it has just been training and just getting me up to speed with the platform. And then they've been slowly rolling me into working with different publishers like Google, Apple, Bing, because it's an SEO company. We work directly with Google, Apple, Bing, Yelp, and every publisher you can imagine.
That's really cool, actually. And then, are you allowed to talk about like your salary range and if you had to negotiate it at all? But you don't
Yeah,
have
I
to.
don't know if I have a hard confirmation on whether that's okay. But I can give a range, and I did kind of pre-negotiate by telling, like, listen, if you guys give me an offer with this number on it, like I'm gonna take it. So, I think they went with that. So initially the job description said 48,000 between 98,000 depending on your experience, and where I landed was between 60 and 75.
Oh, it's really decent.
Mm,
Damn, congrats. That's so cool.
thank you. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. And for people listening who are like considering the course, for you, like in terms of like your actual job and interviewing, was there any part of the course that was really helpful for you?
Um, so in your course, you have us do like 7 labs, right? And when I took the Coursera course, and that took me like 6 months to complete, which I
Damn.
don't know if it helped that much. But when I took the Coursera course, maybe I did 20 labs. But
Wow.
yours was so much better because you emphasized so much. You was like, listen, I want you to do this lab over and over and over and over and over again. And I did. I kept doing the Microsoft testing the connection between the two virtual computers, deploying OS ticket. I did it over and over and over again. And you were like, when you do this, you'll be able to communicate like what you did so much better. And that right there is like one of the best parts of the course because when you
Nice.
start getting into your internship program part, you can really help people and then you learn it even deeper. So that just told me like, dang, like any new skill, I really need to do the repetition and just keep doing it until it becomes like, you're confident to talk about it.
That's good to hear. And for anyone watching, the number and from in my opinion anyway, the number one reason why people like don't achieve stuff or like can't get what they want is from lack of execution. But what he's demonstrating is like a lot of execution. Like he actually do the labs many times, and you apply to like a lot of jobs, and then you got an interview, and then you studied some stuff before your interview. So like pretty much the more you execute on, the more you do, like the more you're going to be able to do in the future. And like the more success you're going to have. Like even if you have like a half baked plan, right? If you execute it like really well, you'll see like some kind of success. So like yeah, good
Yeah,
job. I like to hear when people like actually do the labs many times because it really does like make a difference. Like when you're able to like explain everything.
yeah.
Yeah. So good work. Yeah. So for your new job, do you actually do anything that you learned in the course, like any Active Directory, or is it like basically all new stuff with their products?
Yeah, so your course really helps people with like internal IT type of role, and I'm not dealing with anything actually that I learned in the course. I don't work with Active Directory. I don't troubleshoot network issues. If I were to study A plus right now, it wouldn't really be relevant to this position. What the course did and what your internship did is basically proved that I have technical expertise. And because you teach in your course to create a GitHub portfolio and make videos and like outline everything you did, that just shows them, okay, not only can he do technical stuff, but he can also document it. And that just was enough to be like, all right, he can do this. Well, we can teach him this. And it's funny because like I be talking to our IT guy sometimes because sometimes I have computer problems and I take it to our IT guy and I ask him, "Hey, it's probably this, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, how did you know that?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, don't worry about it."
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Like people watching, you don't even like do stuff that you learned in the course, but you got a bunch of stuff, and then they hired you based on the stuff that you know. It's like it really that's like how it goes, right? That's amazing. And then this question is like not necessarily related to course careers or like even me or like anything, but for the people watching who are interested in getting into IT, do you have any like general advice you would give them that something that maybe helped you along the way?
Yeah, I definitely would give them advice. As you've been watching this, you probably noticed I have a lot of energy. I'm just like very excited and very motivated, executing. I'm not playing around. The first thing I always tell people is you have to know exactly what you want. You have to know exactly what you want. And I knew I wanted to be a SOC analyst. I knew I wanted to be a cybersecurity professional. And I had my reasons based off of the pain that I went through driving Uber. Like I told you guys, my car was on the back of a tow truck like 6 times within 1 month. Like I got pictures showing how depressed I was because it's like, dude, when you're in New York City, you gotta wait 4 hours for the tow truck to show up because they just take forever. So step number one is you gotta know exactly where you want, and you gotta think of it like a GPS system. If you get in your car and you just start driving and you don't know where you're going, you're never gonna know which direction to take. If you get to the corner, do you make a left? Do you make a right? You'll never be decisive. You'll always procrastinate and you won't get anywhere. So you got to make that end destination first. It's like, where do I want to be exactly? And then you plot the course from there. And I just use Josh Madacor's I'm saying Josh Madacor because I'm just like you're not even here. So I just
Yeah,
used
yeah,
Josh's course to help me plot that direction, and I just was on it. And then the second thing, like there's a lot I can say, but this is probably the most important one. The second thing is just get ready to feel every type of emotion. I felt frustrated, bitter, I felt angry, I felt jealous even because people would take the course and there was this guy who got a job within 2 weeks that graduated the same time as me, and I was jealous, And I remember I was talking to her about it, and she had to help me get out of that emotion because I was like, dang, like we both working hard, and how he was able to do this before me, but you can't let whatever emotion you feel stop you from at least getting back up. Like if you fall down and it takes you a week to get back up, like good. Like at least you got up. Just at least get back up. Just keep studying every day, and then when you're ready, keep applying every day.
that's really good. Um, and you saying that kind of reminds me of something like working in IT and like any of these like kind of job. It's like really well within the realm of like what normal people can do. It just takes some like time and execution because you did a lot of like good execution, and like mathematically speaking, eventually, like if you keep improving and keep applying, eventually you're just gonna get hired. It's like it's almost impossible not to, but sometimes for luck reasons or whatever, some people will take longer than other people. But if you keep going, especially something like this, you'll eventually like get
100%.
something.
Yeah, I like
And
the way you like framed it mathematically. Like if you just keep improving over time, like you're going to just become so valuable where somebody's going to be like, "Hey, why haven't we picked this guy up? Like this guy can freaking do like 17,000 leak codes. You know, he already finished all try hack me. You know, like why haven't we hired him?"
yeah, exactly. And if you keep improving, like doing stuff, uh, like even if you, for example, don't get hired by like a company, if you keep improving and like actively doing stuff, you're gonna like accidentally like make your own business or something. Like maybe you might upload like one too many like YouTube videos, and then they'll start like taking off too much, like in your case, and then like you don't even like need to work a normal job. But eventually like
Hmm.
something is gonna happen eventually, and it did, right? So like good work
Yeah.
with those persistence.
Yeah, and if you can tap into a community like the one that Josh provides, the people like Josh, see, one of the hard things about Discord servers I noticed when I joined is like you get in there and like there's no purpose. But like when you join the Discord server through the course, there's like this um foundational reason why people need to come back to the server, and that's because they're part of the internship program. So they're constantly looking for like who needs help, who needs help. So if you send a message, you're gonna get a lot of people that reply to you and start communicating with you. And I even get people on LinkedIn constantly sending me connections that are part of Login Pacific.
Oh, nice.
So I would say find a community to kind of tap into, and you know, if you're down, like at least you guys can pick each other up. And Josh has really been able to put that together, put the pieces for that.
I'm glad that's been helpful and works out. Um, Basically, like the internship he's talking about, you can opt to do that if you're in the course. Basically, you'll just provide support for other students, like they have questions, like if they get stuck setting up their virtual machine or something. And then did you actually participate in that and help people, or you just
Yeah,
watch them?
I did.
Okay.
And the way it works is like, yeah, I documented every time I help somebody, and then you got to send it to Josh.
Yeah, it's like you're doing a help desk. Actually, it's like you record your tasks. But yeah. So do you have this isn't related to like anything else, but anything final that you want to say, like talk about like your YouTube or any thoughts you want to share?
Yeah, well, honestly, I just want to like give a lot of credit to you, Josh, because like you've been like in the IT cybersecurity game on YouTube and really been doing your thing and like just pumping out content and really trying to help people. Like
Thank you.
some people look at your course as like a scam or whatever, and like I think that's like just a gut instinct reaction. And I get it because that was me too. Like it's like you see somebody, if they have a course, it's probably a scam, right? Like that's just what people think, but no, like there's also something called value for what you pay. And
Mm.
if you're getting way more value out of it than what you put into it, then it's just a complete no-brainer. So if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to Josh, I would say definitely subscribe. Stop playing
I
around.
will.
Whatever he has like to offer, like make sure you take a hard look at it because I'm a testimonial of following the advice that he says. Like he's literally a veteran. Like he's been through every single career stage and now he's in his YouTube journey. So just follow what the people who've done it have done, and you'll get what they get. Like it's as simple as that.
Well, thanks for saying that. I appreciate it a lot. Um, yeah, we're just out here doing our best. But yeah,
Yeah.
everyone who's watching, yeah, go ahead and follow him on Facebook, Evan Yearwood. Appreciate you coming on a
No,
lot. This
follow
is
me on
really,
YouTube. Don't
yeah.
add me on Facebook. I won't accept.
Did I say Facebook? Did I say
Yeah,
that?
you said Facebook.
I don't even use Facebook. I don't know why I said that. I think I'm like still sleeping. Okay, because it's like 8 a.m. here, and then it's like 8 p.m. where he's at, and I just like
Yeah.
woke up kind of recently.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry. Yeah, follow
Yeah.
him on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll put
Okay.
like I'll put links, or I'll put something on the screen. But yeah, thanks
Yeah, that'd be great.
thanks.
Come follow Mr. Tall and Bald. You want to learn how to grow a beard? I'll teach you how to do it. And you want to follow the journey into tech? I'll just keep posting what I'm doing and, we can do it together. Let's go.
Well, maybe I'll follow. I cannot grow a beard, so maybe I'll check that out.
Dude, dude, I did it in 12 weeks. Josh, all you gotta do is just watch the video and you'll see, bro. You'll see.
Okay.
You'll see for yourself if you can do it. Because I got people, I posted that video 3 years ago, and I still get people hitting me up saying, bro, like, look at my beard,
That's
you
funny.
know?
Okay. I don't know what I would look like with a beard. I literally have like never had one, but I can try it. Cool. Well, yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. Maybe I'll see you like in Discord, or we'll chat like offline or something like that. But yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate your story. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Josh. See you later, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to Josh. Don't forget.
Oh, thank you.